Okay then, there she is. I'm hoping by the time she gets up on top of that church, you won't so much see the individual light bulbs. Well, maybe you will, but you know what? I'm done with it. I don't know what else to do. Well, I do. I could take it apart and put one more bulb in there, but I'm not sure how much of a difference it would make. And he's coming in the morning. I've been working on it for days. I'm pretty pooped out, so I sort of reached that point where unless he cancels tomorrow, I'm done with it. If he does cancel, I might come out here and try mounting one more light in it. But other than that, I'm calling her done. And I'll talk to him about when he's coming tomorrow, and we'll get out there and we'll put it up on the building. I did fix it up. I put some never sees on these bolts on the back and fixed it up so that I can undo that little section back here, so that we can reach over in there and change bulbs and such. So there's all that. Okay, this is basically just about done. I lit it up last night, and you could see the light bulbs inside through that clear plexiglass. And I needed something to diffuse the light so that the whole thing would look like it was lit. So I was experimenting with stuff. Acetone, lacquer thinner, various paints, even tried some muriatic acid, which made a pretty neat smoke show, but didn't give me the effect I was looking for. And what I wound up doing was taking some white latex paint and a sponge and just dabbing it on there. So we're going to put this up today, but not till this afternoon. So I'm going to take some steel wool and just wipe off the paint that got on the edges here. And there's one more piece of corner metal I thought I'd put down here because the light would kind of shine out and be distracting. I'm thinking this thing's going to be way up on a steeple, so people are going to be looking at it from at least 40 feet away. But, so I was just saying that this thing will be up on a top of a church steeple, so that people looking at it will see it from like 40 feet away. So they won't see a lot of the detail, but I'm going to try to make it about as good as I can. By the way, it looks like it's sitting crooked, but that's just because I have it. It has a thing that goes down in the bottom, and I have it sitting on a block of steel just so it'll sit in place while I mess around with it. So what I was saying is I'm going to put a couple pieces of metal down there on this back corner, and maybe one right here on the top. I've got one that kind of comes over as almost like a little awning piece there, and I may get me some, if I could get some caulking that wouldn't glue this thing on, I might caulk the edge here on that. So anyway, let's go to the hardware store, see what we come back with. I know I'm going to need some little self-tapping screws, some little tech screws, and I've been eating, this thing's been eating drill bits, so I'll get me another drill bit or two. By the way, talking about drill bits, I get mine at the local hardware store here. They make these ones, which are basically titanium. They are total crap. They even, when they come out of the package, I couldn't even get them to drill through tin. These ones that say cobalt, they actually work pretty good as long as you don't snap them. Which in some places here I'm drilling to 2 or 3 layers of tin and then a couple of layers of welded steel, and I've snapped a few trying to put screws into these corners. So anyway, if you're ever in the store there and you're trying to choose between drill bits and you see the cobalt and the titanium, don't buy the titanium. It's junk. Buy the cobalt. They work pretty good. Okay, so me and Charlie are running the store. today all I'm going to do is kind of finish this up as far as any final details. Like I might get some steel wool, and there's a little spot where there's some paint there. I could rub that off. And then this whole garage needs to be cleaned up. It's quite the mess. And with any luck, that thing will be up shining in the sky this evening. Okay.